Grover Cleveland's first term as the 22nd president from 1885 to 1889, leading the Bourbon Democrats, was marked by strict adherence to laissez-faire principles and actions that, while championed by some as integrity, were deeply negative and prejudicial to others. His administration focused on minimal government intervention, often at the expense of those in need. A major stain on his record was his administration's contribution to systemic racism. Most notably, in 1888, Cleveland signed the Scott Act, which severely tightened the Chinese Exclusion Act. This action, driven by racial prejudice and nativist pressure from the West Coast, effectively barred Chinese laborers who had left the U.S. from returning, cementing a policy of ethnic discrimination. Furthermore, the 1887 passage of the Dawes Act, which Cleveland signed, proved genocidal in its effect on Native Americans. By dismantling the communal land system, the act aimed to force assimilation, leading to the tribal governments losing millions of acres of land to white settlers and devastating traditional Native American culture and sovereignty. Economically, Cleveland's rigid fiscal conservatism demonstrated a severe lack of empathy. His famous 1887 veto of the Texas Seed Bill, a minor appropriation to provide seed grain to drought-stricken farmers, was justified as preventing a paternal care on the part of the government. This unyielding stance on government aid was criticized as cold-hearted and unethical. Similarly, he vetoed hundreds of private Civil War pension bills and the Dependent Pension Bill, arguing they were fraudulent or encouraged reliance, alienating veterans and their families who faced genuine hardship. Cleveland's focus on the gold standard and opposition to inflating the currency favored wealthy creditors and financial elites, actively working against the interests of poor farmers and debtors in the West and South. While he was praised by reformers for battling political corruption and vetoing what he saw as special interest legislation, his refusal to use federal power to address the massive wealth inequality, labor unrest, and poverty of the Gilded Age resulted in a 4-year period where vulnerable groups were legally and systemically disadvantaged by the very government that was sworn to protect them.